was like trying to find my socks too. I just looked for like 20 minutes and I was like, wait, this is the wrong like bag for
We're going toeless shoes today.
So kind of brain dead. So
do we need the empty space?
guys, once I get this, maybe I'll be slightly back to normal. You guys might have to carry the show.
That's all right.
We usually
Take
do.
it off my shoulders.
I'm just messing. Actually, out of all the people that I've had like comment about the show, they're like, Griffin gets so deep and like asks some really good, thoughtful questions. And I'm like, you know what? He does. He thinks a lot. I just spew shit.
He's like the Matt Lauer on the show.
Where's that button on my desk? It's rape time.
Did y'all ever see the movie Land of the Lost?
No.
With Will Ferrell?
Yeah.
Did you see at the end where it's like Matt Lauer can suck it?
Oh yeah, I did see that. That was. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And that was before like all that.
Yeah, it was before all of it.
Pretty cool. But anyways, we're back. Round 2. First week went well with the new setup, and this is the All or Nothing show.
Well, we didn't change anything from
Yeah,
last
it should be
time.
good
All
to
right,
go.
let's roll
Looks
then.
good to me.
Run
it's
what
the
you
All or
brung.
Nothing show.
That's right.
Awesome. Brock here.
Griffin.
And we're back again, and today we're drinking on 3D.
Yep.
And
This one doesn't have a flavor on the front.
Yeah, this one is technically grapefruit is the quote-unquote name of it. But
Is that grapefruit? Is that the flavor?
That's the flavor.
It's almost like a Sprite to me.
It's supposed to be like the White Monster, so let me try it.
It's not like Sprite, sorry.
No, it's not like Sprite.
No, I definitely
get lemon.
a grapefruity taste.
I don't really have grapefruit though, so I don't know what it should taste like.
I know what you do with grapefruit.
Yep.
All right, so let's talk about the weekend. Griffin, you moved into your new home.
I did.
Kelly
yes.
Farms.
I did.
Tell us about it.
So, well, Brock, you remember when I moved out of my apartment because it was raining, and
Yeah, a lot of stuff got rained on.
I felt bad because we drove over to my grandma's house where I was staying, and she's very paranoid about coronavirus. So, like, I was the only one allowed to come in with the mask, this and that.
So when moving,
So
you were the only person going in.
left out in the yard, and then I was like, "Well, thanks, man. Like, I feel bad just to like make you wait there because Brock had already been helping me, and then I think too you had gotten there earlier than I did because I had to finish cleaning some stuff in my apartment. So he was waiting
was
there
like,
for
whoa.
30 minutes.
Yeah, to be fair, I was in the parking lot for 30 minutes. I was like, waiting. I was checking every car that was coming in. I was like, it's not him.
So, Griffin, this was Friday?
No, this was originally when we moved in.
When I moved out
I
of my
thought he was
apartment,
talking
like 6
about
weeks
this
ago.
I was about
weekend
to say,
too. I got confused.
I never got a phone call to come
I got
back.
confused. No, I didn't either. This was the other time.
But so Friday it was raining again when I went to move out, and so Friday I was here with you guys that morning. I went and bought a fridge from Lowe's because I need to get a fridge and a washer to bring into this house. So it's weird now, I will say, that I own a fridge. It's a weird feeling of like, that's weird
yours.
like almost home ownership thing, but it's weird to kind of be like, nice produce drawer or like other things like that. Rearrange the shelf a little higher.
Have you
That's how
decorated
I
it
like
yet?
it. Yeah, no. Well, I had a tub of Overcome and I put that on.
Nice. That's
Nice.
what all fridges should have.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I say good morning, beautiful.
Yeah, you take down your kids' homework off the
So-
fridge
Yep.
and put up the Overcome.
No, but the house is very interesting. I basically just had my dad help me move the big stuff out on Friday because it was raining, and then I had a wedding to go to. And then Saturday I moved everything by myself, and then Sunday I moved the last bit out of my grandma's house. That was basically what I was living with.
Yeah.
But the house is very interesting. Getting that weird voice thing that every time I
had to break it out.
the
The estrogen
energy
kicking
drink. I think it was built in like the 1800s, and it is like a farmhouse. It's on 15 acres, and it's actually kind of interesting just walking through because you can tell like where the newer parts are. So it is nice to kind of see certain rooms. Like it is kind of cool just to see, oh, well, this used to be like just these 3 rooms. That was the house, because every room has a chimney.
Yeah.
Which I guess back then, if they had, right now it's like a flooring that's covering up the old like hardwood floor, and I think that's just because the old hardwood was, you know, kind of what is it, rustic or historic like that, to where a lot of air would probably pass through. So I'm sure they probably needed to build a fire in each room. But it is pretty interesting just because, you know, with a lot of old houses, like the floors are kind of uneven. There's usually not that many outlets. I'm trying to think of some other things. Like, I'm curious maybe when it gets colder or warmer, like what that condition will be like as far as...
Yeah, when it's cold, it's cold. It's hot, it's hot.
Because my dad was saying that the heating, like, apparatus was in the ceiling.
Yeah.
But he was like, well, warm air is going to rise, so you're going to need to turn the fans, like, counterclockwise and pull that down.
Yeah, push them down.
You. So... I got kind of the stuff that I needed from like Home Depot initially, as far as just getting some fire extinguishers just in case. What else did I get? I got some surge protectors. But it is weird because I have renter's insurance, but especially living in an apartment the past few years, I feel like there's almost this degree of like security with an apartment to where it's like, you know, nobody's gonna like break into the apartment and then like break into your house, or like if something happens to where like your apartment catches fire when you're gone, like somebody will call the fire department or something like that. And there's this weird like kind of, well, I guess I'm just gonna figure out what happens when I come back tonight, of like leaving all my like camera gear like in the office room, like right beside the window on the desk. Like, what if somebody just comes up and like psh,
well, you have you have your 2A sign out front, right?
Oh, well,
what about all those locks on that one door? They had like 5 locks.
So, let me talk about some of the quirks too, because the lady that lived in the house before me, basically, I'm renting from my aunt and uncle. My uncle's mom technically owns the house, and it's all paid off. There's no mortgage. So depending on, you know, maybe one day I may decide to like try to buy it out from them or something like that, but at least right now it's nice because I'm getting it for a good price, and especially as opposed to an apartment, it's nice because there's a well, so there's no water, there's no like pet rent or other things like that. But the lady that lived there prior was, I guess, like very paranoid or something like that. I think maybe like 20 years ago when she lived there, somebody had broken in. But it was like one of the neighborhood kids, and I think he wound up going to like a mental institution or something, is what I was told. But basically, the front door has like 3 locks. The back door has like 5 locks and like a wooden bar that goes over the door.
I saw the barricade.
And then the window next to the back door has 2 X's, like bars going across it, and another bar there.
So you're ready for the election.
And the back door has a different key than the front door, and I only have the front door key.
She's thought it all out.
I'm barred out from the front door. If I'm stuck, I'm just going to be shaking the bars to try to get out. So it's interesting. It's got a lot of potential as far as, you know, I walk through and kind of visualize what I want it to be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of work, and it is kind of weird to just, you know, I guess I should mention this too, as I'll be very brief. But then Sunday last night, when I moved the last round of stuff from Granny T's, I walked into the house and I basically just turned the foyer light on and was about to just, you know, put on some pajamas. And I hear my dog chewing on something, and that turns out to be mouse poison. And so I immediately just went to the emergency vet, and I've been up all night since then. So didn't sleep, all-nighter. We're 3D in it.
Yeah.
And
now, question.
Yes.
You said the water comes from the well?
Yes.
So where do you get water for like a shower sink? Or
From the well.
I don't know how all this works. Is
So
that just
water
like the source of the water? So it pumps directly
the
from the well
water,
rather
when
than city water?
Yeah, when
Okay,
it rains,
okay.
it goes to the well, and then that comes out. The only difference I find is you don't have as great of water pressure from a well.
I probably wouldn't brew with that kind of water.
Yeah, you'd need a special filter.
Particles in it might not be so good.
Contaminated.
But you have like the best filter, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I need
you
to
could
brew
even
with that
maybe
water.
filter your rainwater.
Wouldn't try it.
But it is weird last night because when I was driving home from the vet, I just had this like kind of, I don't know, not epiphany, opposite of the epiphany of like, what am I doing? It was just this weird feeling of, I'm 5 minutes into this house, basically, and my dog is already eating poison. And I'm driving home, and I know nobody around, pretty much.
Yeah.
And I'm by myself, and, I just am thinking of, every scary movie I've ever seen of, The Strangers or, something with ghosts or something like that. I'm like, a lot could happen right now as far as a lot of bad outcomes, and it was almost this weird, did I make the wrong decision?
Ghost of John Wilkes Booth.
But I think sometimes, especially with a lot of transitional things in life, you start to question that. And I feel like right now, I'm still very much out of, my normal, routine or other things like that. And staying up, I kind of just started putting stuff away, and it feels a lot more like home a little bit more now. So I think that kind of, and especially sometimes at night, I think that you have these weird thoughts. But it was a weird thing of just, have you ever had something that you've been excited about or planned for, and then all of a sudden just almost flipped a switch once you do it of is this really what I want to do sort of thing? But that it is. Yeah. And so you wonder why you're questioning yourself.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's how you feel about Gymflo. And that's how I feel about the gym.
A ton. Yeah. Some days I look on the inside, I'm like, Austin, what the fuck are you
just
doing?
Get the job at Walgreens.
Should I sell it all benefits. And just Instacart? What should I do? I don't know. But yeah. But I think since this is your first home and you've always lived, or at least lately for years now, you've been living in the city, city boy. Yeah, in the country now. Boy. And, I think once you get up in there, you have everything sort of set for the most part. You get through a few weekends of, chill mode on the weekends.
Yeah.
You can be like, shit, man.
Yeah, once it's more of your own.
I think you're going to be like, yo, this is it.
Yeah, I would agree. Because I even woke up this morning and I was like, do I really like solitude? And I was like, let me see if Landon maybe would, be willing to give up internet access and move out here and, stick around with me. I was like, because he has 3 cats, a snake, a rabbit with his girlfriend. I was like, we could make it all fit. But then I feel too, I'm just I think if I grow into here a little bit more too. And it's funny because it's that's always what I wanted to do. And so I wonder sometimes why that questioning or doubt comes into your head.
I also think the timing, so right now, this is me thinking about it. If I moved into that place and it's cold, rainy right now, you can't really go outside. I mean, you can't really enjoy the outside. I think if you would have moved in during the summer or when it was a little bit warmer and good weather, I think you'd be like, damn, this is it. I got a nice yard, sun shining, birds and the bees. Right now it's kind of a iffy, it's a wet, cold time right now. So it's ugh.
But I will say this morning, made some eggs in the frying pan.
Yep.
Made some toast, and then I don't have any chairs or tables, so I just carried it out on the front porch.
That a boy.
And ate it on the step.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something just very peaceful about watching the sunrise.
Imagine if you had a cup of coffee, though.
Buddha running around.
Cup of coffee.
And then some of the neighbors from a couple houses down walked by with their 2 chocolate labs. So it was
you wave?
You
do the neighbor wave?
Yeah.
Hello, neighbor.
That's true. Morning. So
Morning.
it was dang, this is really nice. It's almost like when you go on a mountain retreat or something like that. That first morning when it's kind of foggy and you hear the birds, other things like that. It's nice. So
what was that?
Yeah. So it is one of those things. Not to be a downer or anything. It's just a lot's gone on the past 24 hours. So there was just that late night drive home of I'm all alone.
You need to get yourself a nice mountain woman, nice country woman,
nice homegrown.
Nice thick Hilda.
my man's single. If you'd like to shack up and keep my man warm, holler at him.
If you like White Claws and you're on Tinder, this isn't the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
You go to farmersmeat.com.
Yeah. That's there needs to be more esoteric dating sites like that of I'm trying to think. Just obsessive conspiracy theorists to meet or other things like that. I'm trying to think of
where my QAnon women at? Anyway, how was your weekend, Austin?
Weekend was pretty good. Came here Saturday, trained, worked out.
You were going with the wind after you trained.
And I actually went to a little family get-together Saturday. Did the karaoke, sung a few songs.
Friends in Low Places.
Yep, Friends in Low Places. Even Neon Moon came in.
Oh, nice.
When I heard that, I was like, this is it. Nice. Ran up there.
This is what I've been working towards.
But did some heavy drinking, actually. I mean, respectively for me. I had quite a few natter days, so...
I did see that.
I turned it around. What I did to cure it, though, before I went to bed Saturday night, 2 scoops overcome.
Yeah.
Woke up like a dream, dude.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
That lemonade.
But other than that, Sunday, I mean, this week was pretty chill. Like, after I woke up Sunday, came and trained, grocery shopped, and chilled last night, you know? Pretty low-key. What about you?
I had a pretty good weekend. Friday night, heading into the weekend, my dad and I were working on the cable row, right? And so that's been, for those of you that don't know, when we got the cable in, the big 8-stack, the cable row wire had been, like, torn. And not only was it torn, it was, like, not... It wasn't properly sewn, like, through where the, what do you call it? The gears or the wheels
like
are.
the pulley.
The pulley, exactly. It wasn't on the pulley properly. It was screwed up from the jump. So... had to get a new cord. I had bought the cord for a while, and then I was just putting off, fixing it, just because you got to buy a few things of tools wise. You got to like do it. There's no good videos on YouTube. It's all like, it's never, oh, here's your Icarian, weight stack. It's like, you get some ideas. But anyway, so I was like, all right, Dad, like now that you're back, because they've been on vacation here or there, I'm like, all right, let's pick a day. Let's do this. So he comes over Friday. We head to Home Depot. We get a few of these little like pieces. We buy a crimper or what's called a swaging tool, and we get that. So we come back, and we're working on it. And so, we're looping things, putting everything out it should be, kind of looking at the other pulley. And we think we get it straight. So we're crimping it down, screw it in. We're like, all right, we got to try it out. So, of course, I'm the guinea pig. Maddie and my mom are watching. My dad's, off to the side. So do a few reps with 70. I'm like, all right. I was like, all right, well, we got to test it out more than that. So I put it on 120, do like 1 rep, 2, pop! And then the good news is it pops over by the weight stack.
Yeah.
That was where the weak link was kind of how it all kind of screws in, because the piece that's, this, there's a screw basically that screws into the weight stack. I think y'all have seen that, but just to describe it for people. And then under that screw, what stops the screw from, or the cable from leaving the screw and kind of coming separate and dropping the weight stack, is there's this little like silver piece that's kind of like eggplant shaped, to where it's thin at one end and big at the head. Yep. But that piece, it's specially made. Like, you can't just buy that at Home Depot. I'm pretty sure it's like this weird piece. And the way it was just on the cord was, I don't know, strange. So what we had to do is kind of makeshift it. So that's what we were trying to do, is just crimp something on at that end so that it would hit the screw and stop. So then after it popped the first time, we went in, we did the same thing again, but we had like a longer piece that we crimped, and we crimped it harder. And so it stuck. It was working. We tested up to like 120. And then we're like, okay, well, just to make sure, let's go in and like see how it looks. So we unscrewed it and looked, and I was like, okay, well, the way it's angled and everything, it ain't going nowhere. Problem was, when we tried to re-screw it, because of the metal piece had basically gotten stuck inside that screw, that what we crimped or whatever. The good news is it wasn't going anywhere. The bad news is it was kind of like stuck to the screw. So when we screwed in the screw back into the weight stack, it would unscrew itself by the way the cord was tangled up or whatever. Point is, we broke it again, basically. It wasn't going to work. So my dad came up with a good solution the next day, and so we worked on it Sunday evening and basically got what I think is called like what's it called? Griffin, you might know, like an eyelet screw, whatever. It's like the screw that has like the loop of the circle. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the word, but anyway. It's a screw, and it has like a little loop. So basically, instead of using whatever bolt that was, I should be saying bolt, not screw, but anyway, the bolt that goes into the weight stack, we use this loop one so that we can basically loop the cord around that, crimp it the same way we did where you do a cable attachment. Yeah. And it's easier to show in person, but point is, we went that route, and that thing seems to be holding. I did like a full kind of like set on it just to make sure, tested it. It seems to be holding very strong, and if anything, like again, it would probably, you'd see the cord slowly go through, but I mean, I think that thing's on there. You tested with your client, didn't you? I saw somebody.
I haven't used the
Trick was on it.
Trick was on it. Someone put a handle on it.
And you got to worry about too much weight on that bad boy. Sorry,
so
dude.
So Trick used it. Okay. Yeah, I saw him leaving. Okay, so I was like, okay, it was him or Don. But I'm going to give it a full go tomorrow. So I guess we'll see then. But again, I'm pretty confident about it. I mean, worst scenario, like I said, like you kind of go back, like the cord's not going to come towards you. But for those of you that are coming to Iron Bullet Gym, it'll be thoroughly tested within these next 2 weeks before it opens, so it'll be good.
I will say that fucking stack is quite heavy.
Oh, it's
like
heavy.
I think 120 was on it, and that obviously goes to 300.
Did you test
it go to 300?
So you did test it?
Oh yeah, with 120.
Yeah.
But what does it go to? 300?
250.
250. Well, I mean,
only person that would try it is a vanilla gorilla.
I was about to say, you'd have to be a beast to row that 250 because that 120 felt pretty
heavy. When I was doing it, I was like, that's my working set.
So,
yeah. I'd be surprised if anyone goes over 200.
Yeah.
Same with the lat pull down. Like, I don't know about you guys. I've been doing like
that
120.
And the dip machine.
Yeah, the dip machine's pretty heavy too. Like everything's heavy here at Ironville Gym. The dumbbells, everything's
the humbler.
Yeah, it is what it is. But anyway, so that was kind of my weekend. Had some great workouts. One thing about my Saturday mornings, I freaking love the solitude. Like I come in, and there's a couple things. One, there's no one here, so it's just me. I can blast some music. I can go shirtless, do whatever, enjoy the workout. The other thing is, it's kind of like dark outside, and I was telling him we want to film this, like series or whatever, and I was telling him it like looks best in the gym when it's like pitch black outside and the lights are on, and the way everything just like hits off the walls and off the mirrors, it just looks sweet. So I like coming in, blasting music, feeling myself, just kind of appreciating everything in a different way when it's just me in here, and getting lost in the sauce. So had a good workout, good weekend though.
Yeah, I don't need solitude for my shirt to be off, brother man.
Well, no, I'll take it off anyway. But what I'm saying is, like, I don't know.
I wasn't saying, like, hey, you're scared to take your shirt off. But
yeah. But it's funny, though, because I freaking love being just in an empty gym. Like, I probably enjoy it the most that way. I think most people like an empty-ish gym. Maddie needs people. Like, she doesn't have a good workout if she's, like, alone in the gym. Even if it's like everything else is on point, if she just doesn't have energy around her, she like does not like it.
I see that. Like so,
I see it, but I don't.
I've trained. Well, obviously, I train by myself for most days. I mean, some days Griffin will be in here hit or miss, but like we still don't train together. So
we all train
I'm usually doing my own thing, and I same way. Music blast, and I want it like mind numbing.
I know you do. You have like
screaming
Lamb of
and
God just screaming about death,
and usually shirt off. Probably should be on, but
waist trainer stays on.
Yeah, waist trainer stays on. Keep the guts in.
Yeah,
and I've been loving it that way. But when I think back of like being in a gym, not that I like to see so many people in there, but yeah, I can feel it. Like some days when it's like you just don't have it going on, and you do see other people getting after it, it does help a little bit. But like still at the end of the day, like I'm not trying to be like a hardo, but you either got it or you don't, and you're like on the inside. So
yeah. I think it depends on the people too. That is one thing.
Yeah.
Is there any other thing besides workouts that you like to have other people around to like feed off of that?
I like when we get together. I don't know. Do you mean during workouts or just in life in general?
Just in life. Like I often find like if I go to the library, I'll work more than if I was at home.
I haven't been to a library in like 15 years.
You gotta get you a library card.
No, I'm very good in solitude. I don't know. I think I'm a lone wolf, so I think I do a lot better work when I'm alone in my office rather than when Maddie's in there or Dobie's in there. I just, I feel like I'm more focused. But when it comes to like creativity and like ideas, I think I do better around other people. Obviously, you get more input, more creativity. You bounce off each other like during these podcasts. But no, I think I don't know. I am very much like individual in like my thoughts and productivity. I feel like.
I don't know. I'm hit or miss as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the creativity usually flows when I have other people to shoot stupid ideas with.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I can find ourselves diving into deep conversations about randomness all the time, especially if all three of us get together and we don't have anything to talk about.
Table.
We're usually fucking, talking about some dumb stuff sometimes and not getting anything done.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's needed, You
need both. Yeah. Like that's what I was telling Griffin, and this has been an adjustment that he faced recently with being here more often, but I told him this like a month before. It's like, being in here, I still get my work done, but I'm almost like less productive as far as like time versus how effectively I'm using the time, because it's so easy for me to open my office door, walk down the hall, and just shoot the shit with you, or see what everyone else is doing in the gym, or whatever it is. It's like, I don't know, like I have my own office, and so it's nice for me to just kind of get in there, close the door, and that be like my mode to just turn on work mode, and just get things done.
Work mode engaged.
Yeah, I'm sure for you it's the same way though. It's like sometimes it's like it's nice to like be around each other, as we talked in the last podcast about like creativity, getting more content done, but also like you got to have a good balance of still just having that alone time, getting things done, and staying on track, because otherwise the added benefit isn't like a net gain,
No, usually. Usually not.
Especially with him too, it's different because he doesn't have like an office. He's in here sometimes, or I wouldn't mind if Maddie's not at her desk or something, he can come in our office. Yeah. But it is one of those things that's a little different for him specifically. Yeah, you're a little floater. True. You're like the little pet around the carpet bagger. Yeah, but
Yeah. Well, Keith left that tall ladder. I'll just sit at the top of that.
Yeah.
He did. My editing.
Yeah. He's up in the rafters.
Huzzah.
Yeah. He's gonna fall through the ceiling on the leg press. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I find that myself, the way my schedule is set up, some days, not every day, I'll have these like hour gaps. So like I'll have a client, hour gap, client, hour gap. Not today. Today's actually like almost wide open until this afternoon, looks like. So 2 thumbs up. But most days it's like that. So like it's hard for me to like, all right, train mode, and then like get my mind back into like figuring out what I was working on or what I want to work on next for that 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, back to training, split back up. So they aren't optimal, but it is what it is for the time being. And that's what I try and keep in my head. I'm like, all right, it's not going to be like that forever.
I got lucky when I trained clients at VCU. Part of it was school, part of it was some video work I was doing, but I really only had like 4 or 5 clients. I think was like my peak time plus boot camp. And what I was lucky to be able to do is basically like Tuesdays and Thursdays I'd have like back-to-back clients, okay, like 5 to 6, 6 to 7, done. So it's like nice, like 2 hours straight. And then Wednesdays and Fridays or something, it was like the same deal. It's just different 2 people, like 5 to 6, 6 to 7. And then I might have like a random like Monday at 2, but like I kept it on like a pretty good like bundle people up together, just based off a lot of them were doctors at VCU, so they get off around 4 or 5, they come straight to the gym. It's pretty set in stone, and that worked out for me because I train in the morning, done with classes by like 3 or something, so it would work out. But there is just such a benefit though that when I see y'all, I mean obviously you got to work around everyone's schedule, and with people working from home, everything's even thrown off more.
Hell yeah.
But it reminds me of like how lucky I am benefit-wise that, with the freelance work. I mean, there are deadlines I set for myself, but I can kind of do it whenever throughout the day, Now that I have like one client, and I'll have her 3 times this week, it's a little bit different because I do have to remember I have that hour, just kind of thrown in my day. But, yeah, it's definitely difficult to plan around that as a freelance trainer.
And it's like, lately my mindset has been like, some people have been asking for some crazier times, like 5 in the morning or 7 or 8 at night. Like I got somebody that wants to come back in, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to do that. But at the same time, though, like if push comes to shove, like I'm in it because we've talked about this before in other podcasts or episodes, is that like this isn't always promised or guaranteed to pay. So like I'm going to hit it while it's hot. That's what that's what I say a lot to myself. Got to hit it while it's hot. And if somebody's willing and able to come work with me, regardless of the time, I'm more than likely going to try and take it, even though it's going to either burn me out or, temporarily. Yeah. Just so I can, make stack, save, so I can keep building. But, that's why my schedule is like not efficient right now. Hold on. Because, I don't know, those are the times, and I've tried to, you try and say, hey, let's try for this time. They're like, no, this is the only time I have. So you just make it work and try and get it done so you can, save.
Live another day.
Live to fight another day.
I feel the same way because recently, this whole month I've done very well. But like last month, I think in the middle of the month, I was getting a little nervous. I had like 2 weeks to where when it came to Monday, I had no videos to do. Yeah. And I was like, well, like might get one on Monday morning or something like that. But, it's like a little, it gets you anxious when you're like, money's not coming in. And with training, at least you kind of have people coming on a set schedule. But even then, like if someone cancels this or that, next thing you know, that's like $80 you missed or whatever it is. So it adds up. And it is one of those things that it's like when you do have hot weeks, or like you mentioned, people can do certain times. You do got to hit it when it's hot, because you don't know if that other paycheck's coming. You don't know if I'm going to have any more videos this week, so I better hit these like 9 videos, even if it's going to be stressful. Yeah. I'm going to get them done.
And I found like, at least like over the past few weeks, especially with, obviously Gymflo's a month or I'm in here a month or two now paying rent, which I was doing already at another gym. Goodness. Smoke another Marlboro Red.
We're going to stick the Q-tip up.
Yeah, I know, right? But I've been just like more harder on myself a little bit on the inside, like trying to take any times that people are willing to train and, push my personal schedule around to do that. And I'm like, man, Austin, what else would you do with your time if you didn't do that? It's like,
yeah. Well, that's what I've noticed is like, and I feel like I might have had a conversation with you, Griffin, about this before, is like, I almost have to fill my day with as much like work as I can, because I know the extra hour or two I have. It's like, I mean, you need a break at some point, but like you mentioned, like, okay, if a client cancels, like it happened to me Friday, it's like, what am I going to do with that extra hour? Most likely it's going to just be wasted, be a YouTube video, be a Netflix or some bullshit. Yeah, it's not going to be productive. So I almost try and, if I lose something like that, I try to give myself a task, or even if it's something I did need to do now, it was like a month out, like, working on the newsletters yesterday or something. Like, I need to fill the time. Sometimes I'll make myself stay here an extra hour or two longer than I need to go home, just because I'm like, well, I'm kind of done for the day at 5, but let me go ahead and do something, like, just while I'm here.
And I thought of this last night. I'm sorry if you had something to jump in on. But it's my show, damn. I'm just messing. Griffin, I want to hear what you got to say. But touching on the me thinking over the past few days, and especially hit when I went to Walmart yesterday. Yes, I shop at Walmart. Hell yeah, brother. But I was in there and I was thinking about, like, all right, I picked up this 2-liter bottle, and it was like $1.68. 2-liter bottle of Pepsi. I put it in my cart, literally sat it down there, and I was like, looked at it, and I looked at the $1.68. I was like, I don't need that, though. And that's $1.68 that I could save. And if I bought that every week or every 2 or 3 days, because I'll probably burn through it that quick, that adds up. And, like, that could be put into a Facebook ad for training here soon. Or, eventually if I just stack those little dollar wins, quote unquote, that could buy a new product or restock something or whatever the fuck the case may be. It's like, I don't know, a lot. I make these little decisions here and there, and not to say I'm perfect or I'm some CEO or like fucking badass. I'm sure plenty of people think this way, but like lately I've been intently thinking this way of like, do I need that? Is that bringing any progress to my body? Like, I'm like, fuck it, I can just drink water. Like,
say your point, Griffin. I want to add on to what he said.
As far as the Pepsi?
Well, I don't know if you had it. Did you have something to say? I thought I cut you off.
I thought I cut you off.
You're
okay.
fine.
He's thinking over there. He's waiting for his
brewing
moment.
that deep question.
No, I think that's super crucial. I think especially as like a business owner, but just a person in general. I've thought the same way about, because my addiction of energy drinks, pornography. Actually, been off.
Well, there's no way I'm cutting these out. Like, no, these keep me alive at this point.
It's a cost to reward thing, and so. I was thinking about energy drinks, and I was like, okay, if I have like, let's say I had like one a day or something, I know what price we pay for these, whatever, and I'm like, okay, that's gonna, rack up. Like, even if it's an extra like one a week or something, you're talking an extra $2-3 a week or something like that, and that adds up to 52 weeks. You're talking a few $100s just off energy drinks, right? And so you skipping that Pepsi can, even like you said, if that's twice a month, or if it's you might be like, well, what's
2 or 3 times a week?
Yeah, so you might be like, well, what's $5-6? But you multiply that by 12, it's $60, $70, $80, and that could be a Facebook ad.
Yeah,
and it's the little things like that. It's not just the Pepsi can. Maybe it's the potato chips. Maybe it's a couple things that you cut out. It's so easy to forget about the little nominal things. Like, I'm sure you're this way too with Gymflo. We were talking about it a little bit this morning. Is like, we've had so many big. Not super hiccups per se at the gym, but unexpected payments. And, the little ones I kind of gloss over, like $50 here, $60 there. It's the big ones like $600 or something that's more stressful. But, you kind of gloss over the little things, but they really do add up. I mean, most of the video work I do is $20, $30, $40 here or there, which from a grand scheme of things, I'm like, that's nothing really. It's like a night out. It's whatever. But it's when you do like 80 of those a month,
Yeah.
the whole thing adds up. I mean, everything with Gymflo. I mean, each product makes X amount of profit, and like one or two isn't what keeps the business floating.
No.
It's hundreds of orders. It's whatever. It's the same deal with like the shirts we bought. You know, it's like it's not one or two orders or shirts bought that pays things back or pays the bills. It's selling the mass number at them at whatever price. So, you really can't. It's not even very obsessive, in my opinion, to look at those little things. It's just little choices add up to a big choice, rather than just always, it's not always about like the big purchases, the big cutbacks,
Mm-hmm.
My thoughts.
Yeah.
True. And I would say with any kind of recurring expense like that, it's always best, I feel like, to just multiply it to what it would be for a year, and then just feel like, would I really want to spend like $400 a year on this?
And that's when like things like one thing that I do like to save money with those reoccurring things, like MyFitnessPal, for example. If you want to buy it for the year, you save a little bit of money, but then you also see how much you're paying for it up front.
Yeah.
So I do like paying, like when I do have the opportunity to pay for it for the year up front, if I can afford it. Sometimes I do, just to know that, all right, that's out of my bank account, so I know that that's money like gone. It's like, so I know that's paid for in full. But yeah, I mean, it does look crazy though. I'm like, man, that MyFitnessPal cost me it's not much, but $50-$60 for the year.
Premium?
I didn't re-up this year, so I'm getting it back to free because I don't really care about some of the free. Pretty much gets me everything I need.
That's
now.
what I mean.
So,
I've never paid for it. One thing that I will say while we're on it, and I want to get into the topic I was going to mention, was the one thing I don't pay for the year up front that would be more cost efficient is Google Drive. Like I pay like $10 a month to have like 2 terabytes, whatever, in there. And so
do you always think you're going to go back? Like, I'll
well, that's the thing. It's like $120 for the year what I pay if I pay month to month. If I paid like a year up front, it's $100. So it's only $20 extra. And my kind of thought process is like, sure, I could pay for it up front, but I mean, $20, I mean, I know we're just talking about those add up.
Yeah, they do.
But when it's $20 a year, I mean, I don't know.
I mean, that is spread pretty thin.
It's so nominal that
it is.
I don't know. But anyway,
you don't have to be perfect about everything.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought this topic up is like when I started thinking about it a little bit more deeply over the past week at least, or if not more, and then definitely yesterday when I was shopping, I was like, man, I can't imagine. Like I see so many people out there like going out to eat almost every day, or buying Chick-fil-A every day, or buying this, buying that. And it's like, and then I'm sure deep down they have passions or goals that they have for themselves, and they're wondering why they can't start it or like even get it going.
Yeah.
And
it's living above your means.
You can literally you can start whatever you want. Like I wish I knew this or was taking more intent like thoughts about this longer ago, because I would have probably been more well off than I am now. But like those little things, those little Chick-fil-A's, that like drink, that snack, whatever, those dollars add up. Fucking A.
Yeah.
Well, those are needed someday. I'm just messing. But they definitely
but that's
don't.
super true. Yeah. I mean, but anyway, so the topic I wanted to bring in today to you, and I think we can all add on to this, is the term of like bootstrapping your business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so my question was going to be kind of twofold. One, how important do you think it is, and how much should like a small business owner be bootstrapping their business? Of course, it kind of varies off, something like Gymflo, or something that's like a storefront that obviously kind of like needs people. But like, how much should you be kind of bootstrapping? How important it is? And then two, and I can add on this on my end, but how much have you bootstrapped, and do you feel like you need to change how you structure that now? Do you want me to kind of kick it off, or?
Sure. I mean, I'd like to see like how you what you were trying to do.
So I think kind of where I'm going with it. So I was just thinking about how, I'll give a shout out to Miles. So I've seen like Miles is doing a lot right now for his muscle mileage brand, and it got me really thinking about how much like, I've had to do for the gym, as far as like I do a lot of my own graphics, as far as like, Griffin takes a lot of the photos, but as far as, the little Photoshop things, the video work, I'm lucky that I have these skills that I can, kind of do that on my own. I don't have to, outsource that, pay someone else to get a lot of those things done. I'm also able to personal train this gym. I'm also able, us bootstrap, instead of paying someone to do those floors, we did it ourselves. And so I think, it's super crucial for a small business, especially if you don't have a ton of funds, to get these things done, keep things afloat, keep extra money in savings, to just try and wear a lot of hats. And I think it's super important. But at some point, this is kind of where it got me thinking, is like at some point that you need to diversify. Like if we don't do as well as like we're planning to, I think one thing I'd like consider hiring, possibly if these other avenues don't work, is someone to help manage like social media or like SEO and like getting us to rank higher and getting us to pop up more and people are looking for gems and such, and just raising more hype, because that's something I don't have experience with. And I know something we've talked about before is like advertisement.
Yep.
Like we have no clue as far as like what, I mean, we have, real super basic knowledge, but I mean, nothing near as as good as even like a college intern would know about,
No.
How to use Facebook ads to really target people and everything like that. So I think at some point, bootstrapping is very important, but I think to really grow, to really expand, you at some point have to stop micromanaging, which I'm notorious for doing, and really diversify, your business as far as like hiring people and really, just you gotta like let other people have roles and start to hire people if you really want to get somewhere, because you can't do everything. You can't be a jack of all trades.
No. So for me, I've pretty much done, or I do everything besides a lot of like, Griffin, he's helped since like for the past 4 years with a lot of video and picture work. And I think, when we first started, yes, I did it all. I took pictures with my phone.
Did you make the labels?
Videos.
From the Jump?
The original ones, yes.
Nice.
The very original ones,
Nice.
yes. So I give a shout out. I forgot her name. Damn, I feel bad. Well, one of Jake's old girlfriends created the first logo. So like she actually did it on like Word doc. Like she just ripped off some like fonts and stuff like that and just made it together. The dude flexing for the Y. And after that, like I built out the rest of the label. And which is pretty simple, you can tell. But anyways,
Expert graphic design.
for us to take that next level, I realized that I didn't have the time or really the willingness to learn Photoshop back then or Illustrator, and to create a label. So we ended up just paying somebody that could, turn it around quickly, put a lot of effort, a lot of detail into it that I knew I probably couldn't. And so there's wars you have to pick and choose, or battles you have to pick and choose. Do you want to try and learn a whole new thing just for this one objective? To make something happen. But I definitely think you have to bootstrap as much as you can. I agree with you, and because especially with us, we started off with a loan, and that loan only goes for so far. So you have to make sure you're strategically using that loan to, not only pay the loan back, but also keep your products in stock, reorder more, keep things fresh, moving. So you can't. There's no budget to like outsource.
I think it's a balance, because sometimes though, like there is a money trade-off as far as if you went half-ass on the labels, maybe that sells less and it handicaps your business.
And I realize that.
Yeah, and so there's things like that I think it's great that you've made that decision. It's something that we have to consider with things with the gem. Is it's like if we try to do everything ourselves, the end product may not look that good.
Yeah. And I think like things like the Griffin's work with video and a lot of pictures,
it's well worth it.
Those I feel like have gotten the most engagement. They get a ton. I don't know. People like really respect it, and like everybody that sees, the videos look amazing, the pictures look. So I mean, I can tell that like that's something worth investing into the future, like more and more of. And then speaking of ads, so I've dabbled with Facebook and Instagram ads like a year or two ago, put like $1,500 worth over a period of time, like 4 months worth of time. Did not nearly get that return back. Very sad. And now looking back on it, I was like, if I could have paid somebody $800 maybe or $1,000 to run those ads for me, I could have probably gotten my broke even and or made some money. So like that's when I think, all right, I don't need to be fucking with that. I need to be finding somebody that's efficient and effective with it, and me give them that $1,500 instead of me blowing it, trying to be all macho and learn it on my own. I could have paid somebody $1,500 and maybe brought back $3,000 or $4,000 worth of sales.
That is a good.
So that's one aspect. Definitely moving forward, I'll look into them. I'd like to learn how they work. So if somebody's trying to bullshit me, I can be like, hey, that didn't take that much time or that much effort. I kind of know what's going on here. So, so you aren't completely blinded when somebody's just stealing from you, but also, I think you should know a little bit about everything, but you probably can't be a master of all.
Yeah. Well, there is something I feel like too with that kind of stuff of when you do everything yourself, I feel like sometimes you have a different set of standards, whether that be like more favorable to you or kind of, sometimes it's hard to throw out a lot of money for somebody to do something for you and then not know if you're really going to get the end product that you want.
Yeah. Well, I agree with you. But I also think that like there comes
and I agree with you. I'm just saying like that's the thing as far as like, bootstrapping yourself sometimes. I feel like that's the reservation sometimes people have. It's just not knowing. And
there's like there's a certain like there's like a ledge to where you get to that point to where you can't really, I don't know if scale's the word, but you can't like grow past that point until your skills personally for that like objective either grow and you take the time to invest into it, or you cut funds back on something else, whether it be your own personal pay or put your own personal money into it to make that avenue grow. And I don't know, I think just going back to ads is like, that would be the smartest area that probably anybody, in my opinion, could, pay somebody to do it, because, it takes time to set those up, run them, keep watching them to make sure they aren't just leaking money everywhere.
True.
And then also, that brings a return back. So it's like, it's easy to see there's the return on investment with that. Unlike
especially on some
things.
things, I feel like you're going to spend money anyway, so it might be worth it to spend the extra $200-$300 and actually get the value back.
That's
what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like you mentioned, if you put $1,500 into ads and you got nothing or you got minimal,
very little.
Instead of putting, let's say, $1,800, it might be annoying in the initial spot to put the extra $300. But then if you actually get back, a lot more, then it's well worth it. Actually, sometimes it's something so small, and it makes you feel stupid.
And it could like that time and effort that I put at least I'm thinking 25, maybe 30 hours worth of YouTube trying to learn those ads. Like I could have put that time into something else or dicking around, whatever, and just paid somebody and boom. But now that little bit of time that I did put into it, I at least know how to set them up and what it looks like. But I'm no pro.
True.
So
that is funny too, because I feel like sometimes with a service like Facebook ads, like you can put a lot of money into it, but there's no guarantee. And I feel like too, with somebody that you might pay, like you at least know that they're going to get results. Whereas like the Facebook ads, it's like a shot in the dark sometimes.
Yeah,
too.
And I mean, Facebook ads, if you think about it deep down, or Instagram ads, whatever, they're technically like a TV ad. You aren't guaranteed any sales off of it. It's just about getting it out in front of somebody. I think the odds are much better on Facebook because there's
sometimes I'm surprised
call
who
to actions.
Sponsors their posts. Do you ever see some like crazy, I don't know, some ads that get like 16 likes or something like that, but it's a sponsored post?
Oh sometimes those are like boosted. People boost. Yeah. If you're trying to be an influencer, I guess that could be like a way to get some followers and whatnot. But I do think like another avenue to start looking into, this is getting off the topic of like bootstrapping, but like besides paying for Facebook ads and stuff like that, I would definitely be interested in, we talked a little bit, if I would have put that $1,500 into somebody with a decent following and like, hey, like somebody that's worth that type of money, not somebody with like 10,000 followers, but somebody like with some actual community and influence, that's where, a real return probably comes back. People like Christian Guzman or Max, or not to say that they would be 1,500, they'd probably be a little bit more than that, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because that's like word of mouth right there. It's not just some sponsored post you see coming across your shit.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, it's tough to say because I'm in it. I realize it, but I don't know how to like explain it to people. You gotta do what you gotta do.
True.
To get it done. Like if you want it bad enough, like you'll take the time to learn some things, or hopefully you have some friends or whatever that are a little bit stronger in areas that you aren't, that can really bring it together.
I thought it was interesting because I think you've had a lot of experience with it, and I think I have too in a lot of different avenues.
Dude, I'm like to this day, I'm 6 years or 5 years ish. I hate saying 5 years because we didn't really start taking it seriously to like the past, like since like 2016-ish, 17, really like seriously putting a lot of money into this shit. And to this day, I'm still putting my own personal money into Gymflo because of some bad decisions we've made over the time.
Yeah.
But like, it's a learning process, and be ready to like go all in. It's either all or nothing. Like, I hate to say that because that sounds cringy because it's our product. But like,
nice.
You
little
must
plug.
overcome.
Yeah.
Wait, is this a Gymflo show?
You overcome everything with all or nothing. But it is that type of mindset. Like, you can't be like, I don't know, I might jump, I might not. Like, I'm at this point where it's like, I want to make it happen. Yeah, sink or swim. So,
we get any questions?
No.
God damn it, people! Come on, come on! Our 6 viewers are letting us down on this show.
Well, we got some not decent views. I mean, like, I'll take it, 30-ish, probably with like 25 or 30.
Good
25,
last time
30.
I checked, it was like 11.
25, 30 views on it. So
it's all right.
doing good.
We're at 25,000.
That's
all
right.
These suckers are gonna be like, man, we should have been watching from the jump.
Yeah, the OGs. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I think. It's weird, like, thinking back to when, what was her name, Rachel? Who came in and interviewed or did a podcast with Maddie?
Mm-hmm.
Rachel?
Yeah.
She seems nice, nicely.
She does seem nice. Yeah.
But yeah, she was talking, she came in and she was like, yeah, I don't, y'all's setup is so, like, next level compared to mine. Y'all are light years ahead of me, or I forgot how she quoted it. And I was like, you obviously don't know us, and you don't know what the hell we're doing. We're literally bootstrapping this thing together. Like, it might look bigger and better than like what it is. It looks bigger than what it is.
Yeah.
But it's just literally 3 dudes, 3 dickheads, just putting some shit together, doing what we wanted.
Really, and this could be a whole podcast on itself. Is that when I was talking to my friend that does a lot of stuff in LA right now, we were talking about how from such a young age, like, it's almost no surprise him and I are doing what we're doing, just because from like 11 years old, we're always doing something.
Yeah.
We're always like either trying on YouTube or trying this channel or doing all this stuff. And I feel like whenever you're constantly trying to be creative or trying to do something, you're going to end up somewhere,
Yeah, and whether it takes you directly down the path you wanted or it leads to something else kind of indirectly, I think that the more you kind of just put effort towards that stuff, it might be a couple years or something like that, but at least you can A, call upon those skills, B, maybe you meet somebody within that kind of realm or something like that. And
yeah, you never know where it pays off. I mean, it's like, it's like I told you, I learned most of my video editing skills just like cloning myself and doing little Star Wars edits and fun things like that. And then, you gotta, like, you have to keep your eyes and ears open to any opportunity, because you never know where, now it's my huge money maker, and that's what, where all the money for the gym came from, is basically like skills I learned when I was 11 playing around in like a little editing program.
Yeah.
And, it's things like that. It's the experience I gained being on camera of filming myself. And then sometimes, you're going to fail at a lot of these things. A lot of these YouTube channels fail. A lot of them, you get teased for, but at the end of the day, you're doing something, and that'll always, I think, lead to something, or at least give you the chance to lead to something, rather than if you just stay in your job or you stay, afraid to attempt a new skill, to attempt a new something, then you can't be surprised when nothing changes.
Definitely.
Yeah, and I think, like, I didn't hear a word about that conversation. I'm just coming in right then.
I'll
about,
sum
like,
it up
opportunity.
real quick. Basically, it's like from a young age, I was always either trying something musical, trying a YouTube channel, trying this, trying that, and at least when you're always trying something, you either catch on to something, develop a skill, do whatever. Even if it fails, at least now you know something about Facebook ads. Now you know something about filming videos. Now you know something about a podcast. You're at least leveling up, versus if you never attempt something, you're not going to gain anything. You're just going to stay exactly where you are.
For sure. And I guess what I was about to say, and it kind of relates to that too, is like, if I never did the events, I'm just trying to think about like how I met y'all. Like, those opportunities weren't because I sat at home and didn't like go out and do that demo or that event.
You went and did the nut bash. You went and set up your table. You went. Did you have to pay
how
for that
did I
booth?
meet you? No, I didn't have to
You
pay
met
for it.
me at No Limits.
It's been so long. I don't remember how, like, the first time I met you.
I got a sample of All or Nothing Pineapple.
Damn.
And then I made a workout video, and I was just doming it. And then you tagged, or you messaged me, and you said, I like the video.
Like
Would you
your
be
style.
down to do another one?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you asked me to meet you in
And
the
then
back
when was the
alley.
gangbang? Yeah.
And the rest was history.
Then we made sweet love.
Yeah.
Back in the days where Gymflo, like HQ, was in the back of a shop.
Yep.
And it was
And
funny to see like the old backdrops and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that back there.
And I thought, like, it's crazy that, not to get off too much of a tangent, I thought from there we were going to be, like, renting a warehouse soon after that because things were definitely going up. And took a few steps back, which happens with life and anything you do.
Bad
You might get
business.
knocked down, whatever. And then now we're back here again.
Yeah.
Got another warehouse HQ type deal. And, it's crazy to see the process and think back because I've forgotten how I met you and whatnot. It's been so long, dude.
I know.
But I don't know what's
This might
going
be
on.
your last podcast.
Yeah, I might be dead. But
Yeah.
ever since I started drinking this 3D, I might complain on that. Like, I'm getting a little
No,
flummy.
no.
It's a
I
grapefruit.
feel great.
Literally, it's once we started
I feel
talking.
great.
It's a great.
I'm getting.
You want to get in these questions?
Who do you want
Shit.
to start?
Yeah, I can knock mine off.
I can-
Yeah, let's rock and roll. Oh, which by the way, before we dive in,
All right.
I'm looking at All or
Pay
Nothing
some
X.
bills.
Yeah, sponsored ads. Which, by the way, this show is sponsored by Trick 2G, the provider of all the equipment you see here for your listening pleasure. But All or Nothing Red Apple. I'm giving y'all the final warning. Probably this show. There's under 12 units left of this. Once it's gone, it's gone. Contains 2-amino-isoheptane, which is DMHA, and DMHA is like a very euphoric, feel-good ingredient. Boosts your mood, gets you sort of in that tunnel vision mode.
You'll fuck it up in the gym.
Walking through a wall type deal, what I like to describe it as. And it's paired with alpha yohimbe, which we don't have on our new formula either, which is a very like strong, potent stimulant as well that gets you very sweaty or can get you sweaty a little bit once you get in the mood and get moving. But those two combined take you to outer space, places unknown. And once it's gone, it's gone. So final warning, pick yours up now. And it's the last of that breed. Moving forward, though.
R.I.P.
Big deal for D-Pump. I think I might have mentioned it last week, but big deal coming. Oh, yeah. Code STEM.
Guys, it's $30.
$30. What's
$30.
Yeah, brother. And it's literally all or nothing.
It's literally all or nothing. You're
Special
getting
collab.
a killer deal. The flavor's amazing. It's arguably the best flavor.
Oh.
I mean,
Hey, what are your thoughts on the flavor, Griff? Like you dome it and you're like,
I think lime's the best for me, but I mean it's right. I mean it's close.
Yeah.
It
It's
is.
close.
It's a good compliment to the other two because I consider lime like sour,
Yeah.
Green Monster salty, and then Deep Pump like burst of sweet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that
agree.
burst of sweet. Hell
I
yeah.
agree.
But anyways, we're on to the questions now. Answer the internet from Barstool Sports. Questions as fucked up as you are. Be ready. You've been warned. Answer the internet. Would you rather be known as the best sex ever by a bunch of normal girls or the worst sex ever by a bunch of smokes? As in smoking hot. I'm going best sex ever by a bunch of normals.
I think too, because
It's like normal's normal. It's
because
like,
then that might boost your reputation, so you can get with the smokes.
Yes,
True.
Yes.
That's
Here,
where
And
I'm
the
going.
inverse would
bathroom
carry as
that
well,
locker room
to
talk.
where if the smokes said that
Yeah.
you were the worst ever, that carries into the normals.
And they're like, oh, that dude,
yeah.
lame. Yeah,
Very
no,
true.
Who would ever want to be like, yeah, I'm the worst, but I banged those hot
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
They all hated it.
They all fucking hate it. Yeah.
No, yeah,
it's pretty sad.
You start off hot and heavy with the normals, and you work your way up. That's the chain, anyways. Like
Yeah.
the chain of command.
You gotta pay your dues.
Pay those dues.
All right. Had good consensus on that. Debate the internet. If you could only watch one actor's movies for the rest of your life, who would it be?
Ryan Gosling.
Really?
Drive, Place Beyond the Pines, Blade Runner 2049, Blue Valentine. Trying to think of what
I'm
else.
between two guys. Tom Hanks, Will Ferrell. And I think I'm going Will Ferrell.
Tom Hanks' reputation right now.
Toy Story.
Yeah. Because Will Ferrell, I mean, you have Anchorman 1 and 2.
And those are like, yeah,
Killers.
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 For sure.
You have Step Brothers. You have Ricky Bobby,
Talladega,
Talladega
yeah.
Nights. Yep.
Elf.
Then you have the other guys. You have Elf.
Yep,
You have that one with Kevin Hart that's okay.
that's okay. Yeah.
You have some other older
Older
ones,
ones,
like
yeah, older
Stranger
ones.
Than Fiction. Have you seen that one? That one was kind of interesting.
Yeah. Then there's
It was a little weird, but
what's that college one?
Oh,
Van
fuck.
Wilder.
Old school.
Old
School fucks, man. Old school fucks. Frank the
Good
Tank.
choice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
You seen that, Griffin?
No.
God damn it, man.
Good choice.
This guy's
I
the
love
biggest.
the enthusiasm.
All right, we have to.
He's like that mom. Good job.
When
And
Iron
you're
Bill
losing.
makes enough money, we're gonna pay him to just sit right here in one of these shitty chairs too, not a good chair, so he stays awake. And we're gonna project all the fucking movies right there. He's gonna have to sit through them.
My life's work.
Yeah.
Complete.
Yeah.
What I've always wanted.
You're my boy, Blue.
So I haven't
Yeah.
answered mine. Will Ferrell's a good pick, and it wasn't even
Yeah.
on the top of my head, which I'd have to reevaluate. But I'm gonna probably, because I watched one last night with him, and I was like, damn, he's got a good, like, all of his movies are
Good
safe.
repertoire.
Matthew McConaughey.
Oh, he's good.
Good
Yeah,
too.
that's a
they're all
good choice.
safe.
Those
Like,
are safe
yeah.
bets. Yeah,
True.
can't
Plus-
hate on that.
I mean, I wouldn't mind.
Good range
you
of
know,
movies
yeah.
too. You know.
Good looking dude. Man
Yeah.
crush.
Yeah, he's a good looking dude.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What's
and,
up?
and his Lincoln.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him in his Lincoln.
Smooth.
Yeah.
If you could fuck anyone you wanted, but they would die immediately after, who would you pick?
So it'd have to be a hate fuck.
So this could be a double-edged sword, yes, because it could be.
I've got a list with names on it.
You're all gonna get it. Oh man.
What is going on?
I don't think that's something you can even really name. Not on a podcast. Even if I could
That's a
think of
threat.
someone, yeah, that's more of a threat. Yeah,
That's a death threat.
it's like
Griffin.
you're gonna get it and you're gonna get it. You know, it's like
I don't know.
Yeah, that's true.
That would suck, though. That would suck. There's a movie or there's a show. Y'all ever watch American Horror Story?
yeah.
Yes.
And I just finished it. The Covenant with the witches. That one blonde
That's
chick.
something- oh, yeah,
everybody
she does that,
fucks
yeah.
dies.
Oh.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the
I
blood
do
comes out
remember
of their
that.
eyes and
Yeah.
ears and shit.
Because she's Satan, right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
it's
yeah.
usually like right when they blow, like right when they
pretty
come. they're
hot
just like,
too in the movie.
Dang.
Yeah. Is it like a Raiders of the Lost Ark, just melting?
yeah, the face
Yeah.
melters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know, cause and plus, if you had, well, I don't know. Well, the question really didn't phrase
Instead
it
of
that
the
way.
kiss of death, it's like the dick of death.
Dick
you
of
know?
death.
Yeah.
He'll fuck you till you die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I don't
Be a
like,
quick
and
death.
if it's somebody that I wanted to die, I probably wouldn't want to bang them. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you
no.
have anybody on your list you want to name?
No, not that I want to name.
Yeah, there may be some like chicks from high school that I have
Yeah.
like a big FU to, but besides
Yeah.
that,
Yeah. If you learn how to do a bleep effect in your editing
Yeah.
program, then I'll name a name.
yeah.
So,
I'll put the bleep right after you say it. Bleep. Nice.
but
Oops.
kind of a
Yeah.
cop out last
That's all
question.
right.
Yeah,
That's
whatever.
all right.
Interesting premise.
Hopefully y'all enjoyed this short one. It's kind of a shorter one. How long we
Hour.
go?
It was a full hour.
Hour?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if you have any questions for us, make sure you're following us all on social media. I'm gonna
Ask
drop
us
it
some
down in
questions.
the questions, the descriptions below. Follow me, Brock, and Griffin. I usually post the questions on Sundays, and they try and reshare it. So if you see it on any page, make sure you go to mine. Drop us some questions so we have something to talk about, or obviously answer any questions you guys have. And in the meantime, like, share, subscribe. We'll see y'all next
See
week.
ya.
Out.